Topping our news tonight, an East Alabama teen convicted as an accomplice to murder, learning his fate today in a Russell County courtroom. Emotional pleas from the parents on both sides of this case before the judge rendered his final ruling for 18-year-old Jadarius Snipes. But it was his mother who ended up in handcuffs during this proceeding. Newsletter 9's Alexis Thornton joined us live from our newsroom after being at that sentencing hearing. So, Alexis, tell us more about this courtroom drama today.
Well, Jason, two fathers stood before the judge today with completely different pleas. Snipes' father begged for mercy for his son, while the victim's father demanded justice with the maximum sentence. But tensions escalated when Snipes' mother was handcuffed before the judge sentenced him to 45 years in prison.
I want you to see this because I lucked out because of the fact that I didn't want to hear them saying stuff.
Jadarius Snipes' mother, Mary Herbert, left the courtroom after an investigator spoke to the court, referencing a social media picture the morning after the killing of Ryan Bowles. The investigator says the photo shows Snipes with a gun and throwing gang signs with younger boys, influencing them when officials say they should have been in school.
I'm entitled to be angry. I'm entitled to be pissed off. I'm entitled to walk away when I don't want to hear BS.
The judge ordered deputies to place her in handcuffs after she refused to come back inside the hearing.
So for anybody to try to condemn me or force me to listen and tell me I wanted you to be there for your son, no, you wanted me to listen to y'all lies. Because if you was actually there for my son in a judicial way, you would have never allowed none of this stuff to happen.
I think she is just making excuses for her son and for his actions and not taking responsibility, and he doesn't either.
This mom's attitude is exactly why her son is in the position that he is in now. They say that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and this case absolutely proves it. Just the mom's whole demeanor, the way that she's acting, just the way that she's talking about this entire situation is absolutely insane. Mom has no accountability. Mom is not taking responsibility for the part that she's played in it and failing her son. Therefore, her son's gonna behave the same way because this is who raised him. She failed her son 110%. Her and the father, they absolutely failed this boy. Number one, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but we have to be more conscious and aware, especially in my community, of how of what we name our children. I am not trying to be funny, but Jadarius, that was mistake number one. Why did you name him like you just set him up for failure? Come on, like we have to do better, and people don't want to say this stuff because out of fear of hurting feelings and you know, just whatever backlash may come with it. But it's the honest truth. Okay, you set your son up for failure. What you name your children, it speaks for itself, what type of mindset that you have. And then a lot of these parents, they wait until their children are in trouble. They wait until their children, until it's to the point where they can't be redeemed in order to go to bat for them. Have you noticed that? Like they don't parent, they don't have any control over their children. They're not paying attention to what their children are doing, where their children are at. It looks like this took place at nighttime. Why is your 16-year-old son out at night? Why? Children should be at home. So when they get in trouble, then all of a sudden it's the age matters, and he was only 16 and they talked to him without me being around. Your 16-year-old son should have been at home. He should not have been out ripping and running the streets. It's convenient to use the childhood card when he's in trouble. But what about prior to that? And at the point that he's in trouble, ma'am, No one cares anymore. Your son did something that cannot be reversed. It cannot be taken back. He took someone's life. When a 16-year-old does something like that, it no longer matters. He is big and bad enough to commit crimes, then he's big and bad enough to pay for it like an adult. You should have taught your son that his actions can lead to consequences. You do something that's irreversible, the consequences are going to be heavy for that. And the mom, I cannot even believe that this mom had the nerve to say entitled. Entitled should not be anywhere near her mouth. That would anger me so bad if I was the victim's family, the victim's friends. You know, it's just like, how can you even come out of your mouth knowing what your son did to someone else and say that you're entitled to anything, especially anger? Why are you entitled to be angry? You should be the least likely to be angry. And if you are angry, it should be directed at your son and yourself and his father and all of the people around him that failed him. That's where your anger should be directed at, not towards law enforcement, not towards the judges, not towards the district attorney or the victim's family or anyone else. You have some nerve. You were entitled to raise your son to be a good citizen. You were entitled to raise your son to do the right thing, to not be out here harming people, hurting people. You were entitled to keep your son out of the streets. I am almost in favor of parents being held accountable right along with their child when they do something wrong. Put them on trial together. Because some of these parents just do not get it. And I don't think that it's going to change. I don't think that they're going to start being more involved in their children's lives and more responsible about the way that they raise their children. The only way that that will happen is if the parent is somehow liable. Because it's like they just don't care. They don't care. Why didn't they show the father? Where is the father at? They mentioned him, but they didn't show him, and the father had nothing to say. That's another problem in our community. The woman at the forefront. Where is the man? Where is the father? Why aren't people questioning him? Like, where were you? Did you abandon your son? Did you have a relationship with your son? Why was he into what he was into? My kids would get no support, and they would know that. You do something like this, there's levels. There's certain things that, okay, you made a mistake. I'm here for you. Let's fix it. But other things that there's zero tolerance for. I would not be in court supporting my son who did this. I would not. Under any circumstances. None. I might take a phone call or two, but to be rallying behind him as if he's innocent, that is just so wicked. It's evil. I'm going to put the fear of God into you to let you know that if you cross this line, don't expect for me to be there. Don't expect for me to be there. And I mean it. If I stand behind you on certain things, then that means that I condone it. That means that I'm okay with it. That's just the way that I see it. So I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with your actions. I'm not going to stand behind you. If you need support, you're going to have to get it from somewhere else, because it's not going to come from me. At a certain point, you have to hold your children, or just anybody in general, accountable. Always is going to be a line drawn in the sand, unless you're a doormat, unless you're a person who just doesn't care and you just take anything. But this is just an example, one example of the mindset of people that are out here having children and so-called raising them. It's unfortunate that this person even crossed paths with this individual. You could be minding your business. I could be minding my business. This could be any one of us minding our business, and because someone else is choosing to neglect their child or not raise their child properly, condone certain behavior, we're at risk. The whole entire situation was tragic. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in my next video.